Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Psychic Activist podcast. I'm your host, Natty Beats. I am a psychic development expert, sure, we'll go with that, expert, trance channel, master healer, activator, author, all of the things. This podcast is for anyone who would like to learn about their own psychic abilities and psychic channel. Essentially, I teach spirituality without the bullshit. I'm a little bit leery, a little bit sweary, so if bad language offends you, you might want to scoot on by. With that being said, today's podcast is about working with dragons. Those of you who know me and have followed me for a while know that I am a dragon. I'm a dragon channel. I'm a dragon keeper. I work with dragons very closely and have done now for a couple of years. I have channeled an oracle deck from the dragons. I've nearly finished a book, several courses. They just keep pelting things through me. And part of my path in this life is helping to transmute and translate dragon frequencies so that they're more palatable for the humans and the areas of Earth that need them. I've made myself some little notes here so that I don't go off topic. I'm going to be doing a lot of podcasts on dragons in the future. I'm trying to do this as more as an intro to working with dragons so that even if you've got no experience with working with dragon energy, you can listen to this podcast and hopefully it will resonate with the right people. So let's just quickly cover what a dragon is. I am not talking about actual physical living things that you can see with your 3D eyes, although I do personally believe that there are a lot hidden in the earth. I'm talking about ethereal creatures, so I'm talking about spirits essentially. So you know how you work with angels and spirit guides. Dragons are just other aspects of Source. They are very powerful aspects of Source. There is a lot of universal energies that have dragon aspects. For example, Archangel Michael, Goddess Sekhmet. There's many others that have dragon aspects of them. However, for a really long time, they only came through in their dragon or goddess or god form simply because it was more palatable for humans, because there's been a hell of a lot of, I guess, evil programming seeded into the collective around dragons, putting fear in us, the whole slay the dragon bollocks, and saying that dragons eat people and burn down villages, and all of the propaganda that they put out there that stop you from realizing that actually dragons are insanely powerful creatures. Most of them are very benevolent and good to work with, and that a lot of you listening to this will actually have dragon aspects of your soul. So you essentially are part dragon. A lot of people have been wanting to know how they can connect with their dragons, so I'll be covering this in this podcast, and also talking a bit about their frequencies. But first of all, I'm going to share a little bit about my own experience and about how I first came into contact with dragons. So it was back in 2021, I think. I was having a session with one of my mentors, Wolfgang, and he was guiding me into a past life regression. And it was in China, and I cannot remember the exact details, but I remember I freed a spirit. I think it was an emperor in China, and I freed his spirit and some curses and spells around that situation. And at the end of this process, I got given a coin. Now, the coin had a picture of two dragons on it. And I said to Wolfgang, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I've just been presenting with a coin with dragons on. And he said, ask if they're real dragons. So the way that the sessions work with my mentor and the way that I work when I'm holding space, I connect people with their guides, with their higher self, and I ask questions and they bring through the answers. So he said, ask if they're real dragons. I had resistance come up because I was thinking, mate, there's no such thing as dragons. I asked and I got a yes. I was like, okay, they said yes. He said, ask if they're trapped. I got a yes. Ask if we need to free them. I got a yes. I was thinking, fuck me. This is going somewhere. Do you know what? I think this may have actually been late 2020 that I had this session, because all my abilities opened up at the beginning of the year. And I remember thinking, I've only just started to come to terms with the fact that ETs, aliens, light beings, whatever you want to call them, exist and are having contact with me. and also got used to working with unicorns, and now they're fucking throwing dragons at me. So I was a bit like, seriously, guys, back up. This is way too Harry Potter for my liking. But I was tapped in, I was connected with my guides, I was following the guidance. I trust Wolfgang to hold space. So we basically set about freeing these dragons, went through a process of, again, removing whatever classes of our spells were holding them in place. And when we freed them, it was like the coin disappeared and this beautiful red dragon and a beautiful green dragon came out. It was almost like yin yang energy. They were like twisting around, and they flew out, and my body was like vibrating, and I felt absolutely amazing. And they thanked me, and Wolfgang got me to ask them if there was anything they had for me, and they gave me a sword. Now, this sword was essentially a piece of astral technology that they wanted me to put down my back, and it was to protect my information highway. So, you know, that central channel that runs through your body, your Kundalini energy, everything goes up and down the spine. I put the sword down my back, and I got the message that it was psychic protection. And then the dragons basically said thank you and left. That was my first ever contact with dragons. The next time I had a session with Wolfgang, I had another dragon come through, and his name was Ethrador. Now, I still work with Ethrador. He's a dragon that anyone can call upon. He's a dragon that ended up in my oracle deck. It was the only one of my personal guides that ended up in my oracle deck. Ethrador is the Great Wanderer. He's great for helping people astral travel, do journeying, like shamanic journeying, soul journeying, anywhere that you might need to be kept safe in astral realms. This dragon came through, and I can't remember what happened in the session, but I remember that he basically just said that he was there to work with me, that he was now one of my guides. And this was really the first dragon spirit guide that I had, that I started working with regularly. I say regularly. I didn't work with him that much because I was still honestly trying to get my head around the whole dragon's a real thing. So it was, I think, maybe a couple of months before he came through again. And the second time he came through during a client session where I was helping this client heal trauma from a spiritual war that took place in the 15th dimension. At the time, again, I was like, what do you mean 15th dimension? Surely there's only 12. Just a disclaimer that the world is way more fucking infinite than shit you read in spiritual books. I don't care how many people qualify whatever information you're getting. And again, take everything I say with a pinch of salt always. But if this resonates, it resonates. There are way more than 12 dimensions, bro. There is many, many, many. But yeah, the spiritual world was taking part in the 15th dimension. And what I got shown clairvoyantly is there was a lot of souls that had turned their light off, that had literally chosen to turn their light off because they lost this spiritual war, and all of these souls, like beings, died in this dimension. And what had happened is these souls had almost turned black, and they kind of looked like lumps of coal. I went through with my guides, slowly healing them, transmuting them, doing all the usual stuff that I do when I'm working shamanically in this way. And then, excuse me, and then my guides took me to this, like a planet. I have no clue where it was, somewhere in the 15th dimension. It looked like a planet. And I got the message that embedded on this planet was some soul fragments that needed rescuing. And then I did my usual qualification. Is this something I can do? And am I safe? And I got no. And I was like, right. So when I'm working with clients, if something comes up into my awareness that needs to be healed or cleared, it's my job with my guides to channel a way of doing it. So I might get, no, I'm not safe. So then I have to find a way to make it safe. I might get, no, I can't do that. Okay, so I need to find someone who can, right? So I was like, right, well, I'm not going to leave my client with this trauma and with these sort of black soul fragments hanging around. I need to figure out what to do. So I asked my higher self to send in the right energy to help with the situation. And Ethrador came like flying in. This was like a technicolored dream dragon. Whenever I experience dragons, I mean, I'm clairvoyant anyway, so I experience things very vividly. But dragons, it's almost like a photo or a video. They're so close and potent. And Ethrador came flying in. And I essentially got the message that Ethrador was going to go in and get the soul fragments for me. So I gave him permission. I held space. I started having light language singing come through. And I saw this beautiful dragon go into the depths of this planet. And I saw him dig up these tiny soul fragments that looked like black coal. And he handed them over to me so that I could help sort of transmute and clear the energy and bring them back to the light. And then I saw him dig out this little goldy red egg. And I got the message that the reason that he helped me and that he needed my help to astrally guide us in there and to give him permission to do this work so that he could then rescue a dragon egg that was stuck in that realm, on that dimension, on that planet. Now, that was the first time I ever came in contact with a dragon egg, and I had no clue what that meant at the time. But I thanked him for his service. We cleared the soul fragments and the rest of the trauma from the client. She felt light and amazing. Her psychic channel opened up like crazy, and I went on my merry way. Now, this was probably late 2020, maybe early 2021 by this point. And it was just that one dragon that I've been working with. It wasn't until towards the end of 2022 when I went on my journey. So my whole life fell apart in 2022. Just some background for those of you who haven't yet read my book. Those of you who want to read my book, it's called Upgrade from Within. You can get it on Amazon. It says a lot about my story, how to open your abilities, all of that jazz. But in the book, I talk about a journey of when my life fell apart in 2022. In hindsight, I know that it was the dragons smashing the fuck through. My life fell apart in 2022, and I bought a van and decided to follow my spirit guides around the country. Now, I ended up in Tintagel, where the Merlin's cave is, connected with Merlin's energy, and met a black dragon called Sanderfell. So Sanderfell came through, and Sanderfell became another of my guide dragons. So Sanderfell and Ethrador then worked together, and I did lots of healing with them, lots of journeying with them. A couple of months later, during one of the worst fucking viruses I've had in recent years, while I was in Paris, and I now know that it was timeline flu. It was due to jumping timelines too quickly, but that's a whole nother podcast. I was really, really ill with this virus, and I had a dream that I had to protect an egg. So I'm now, by the way, going into explaining about dragon eggs. This is pretty much just being one run-on tangent, but I'm covering a lot of the things that people asked me for on social media when I asked what you wanted to know about dragons. So we're going into dragon eggs now. So yeah, I had the dream that I had to look after this egg. I booked a session with Wolfgang because I was so fucking ill, and I knew that there was some spiritual stuff going on. And we cleared a bunch of spirits from me, 96 to be exact. By the way, guys, if you ever go to a new place, a new city, a new country, whatever, do your due diligence, connect with your higher self, ask if there's any past lives that need to be cleared, ask if there's any ghosts or soul fragments that need to be cleared. Trust me, you will save yourself a lot of illness, injuries, mistakes, cock-ups when you travel if you do this. It's just a little extra advice for you. So I had a session with Wolfgang, and during the session I saw this black egg inside me, like literally kind of in my sacral area. And usually when we're having things come up, it's because something needs to be cleared. So I said there was a black egg, and he started asking me all these questions, and the information that basically came out is that this was a dragon egg, and that I was being asked to incubate it so that I could help birth it and earth it into earth, into this dimension, into this realm, into the earthly planes. Again, I had never experienced this before, and pretty much every time I experience something that crazy and that new, because I'm getting used to it now, it's pretty much met with, fuck me, what is this now? Like, seriously? Dragon eggs? I'm actually pregnant with a dragon egg? Is this an actual fucking thing? But it is, and it's magic, and it's beautiful, and it's a huge honor to have the dragons trust people with this. So I got the message that it was a dragon egg, and Wolfgang then guided me through asking like what it needed from me. I got the message that it needed to be incubated for 4 days, that it was going to take 12% of my energy to incubate this dragon egg, and when it was born, it was bringing me the gifts of gold and wings. And I was like, okay, sure, gold, obviously wealth, abundance. I was like, bring that the fuck on, because I am in my credit card and traveling around the world right now with on blind faith. And also my wings was for physical travel and also so that I could fly with dragons. So 4 days later, I miraculously, my virus was gone. I tapped in and did a shamanic journey and essentially saw this dragon egg be born. So it was in front of me, and it was this black dragon egg that kind of had little bits of red around it. And I literally watched the dragon come out of the egg. It was the most beautiful thing. I was crying my eyes out also, by the way. It was literally, I mean, I don't have children, but it was like the closest I've ever come to actually giving birth. And the most magical thing started happening. So the dragon was born. Then I had Merlin, the wizard energy, come in, and he did some spells and like blessed the egg and blessed the dragon. Then I had my Arcturian guide Kengar come in and send some like blue magic light codes into the dragon, and it started to grow stronger. It went from like a baby, almost like a cartoon, to like a photo of a dragon with like scales and everything. Then I had a group of green fairies come in and they sent a load of green magic in. I also had Isis come in and bless the dragon. It was like this whole thing. It was like, you know, on Sleeping Beauty, when the fairies come in and they're like blessing the child with the gifts of sound and song and whatever the fuck else. It was a bit like that. And then everything, the dragon was like bigger, still a baby, but like full technicolored. It's almost like I could reach out and touch its scales. It was the most real thing I've ever experienced in my entire life, still to this day when it comes to experiencing things in our third eye or astral realm. But its wings were still teeny tiny, like these little cartoon wings that wouldn't fly yet. And I got the message that I wasn't ready to fly yet, as in I wasn't ready to leave Paris where I was, but that in a couple more days, the wings would come in and I was go. Couple more days went by, the wings came in, I was on my way, I was driving to Spain. Now, I also got the insight that this dragon was tethered to me, and that the tethering, so at first it showed up like a chain and a collar, and I was like, absolutely fucking not. I am not having a dragon on a chain. Remove and clear all bindings from this dragon. It only stays here if it chooses to. Remove any contracts we have, anything where it says it has to be with me. So I want to make sure that it was free. Removed all that, and then what I saw was a rainbow umbilical cord that came from me to the dragon, and it's still here to this day. The baby dragon, by the way, was called Kiartuk, and is still with me. It still travels with me everywhere. And I was driving to Spain from France, and I had the most intense, like, I felt so free and so happy and so alive. I felt like I was on drugs. And I could just had this sense, like in my third eye, in my mind's eye, of this massive black dragon flying over my fucking van as I'm driving. It was honestly the most mental thing. I got to Spain. I'm gonna fast forward through this little bit. Again, this full story is in more depth, is in my book. Got to Spain. My guides told me to launch an 8-week course. They gave me 8 subjects and nothing else, and they told me to put it online. I put it online. Within 3 weeks, I'd done my first £10,000 course launch. I signed up 18 people with like fuck all marketing, fuck all planning or anything. I literally didn't know what was going to be on this course beyond these 8 subjects. The dragons just wanted to prove to me that basically what could happen when I worked with them in co-creation. It was more gold than I'd ever seen, more wealth than I'd ever seen in my business career. The course was the most powerful thing I've ever fucking channeled. That's my 8-week psychic development course. It exists outside of space and time. Everyone who got guided to it just knew that it was something that they needed to do. It was fucking insane. So essentially, that dragon egg, bringing through that dragon egg, working with that dragon, literally led me to traveling the world. By the way, I've been traveling ever since. It's now 18 months on, nearly 2 years on. Oh, wow. Actually, yeah, 2 months off, 2 years on. And I've been consistently traveling the world the last couple of years, having the most insane magic experiences. And I know that it all happened because I agreed to work with the dragons and because I accepted this path. So going back to dragon eggs, that was my experience with them. If you get presented with dragon eggs, it is a massive fucking honor to bring through a dragon eggs. What dragon eggs are essentially is it's a way of seeding this planet with more light, basically bringing through the codes and frequencies into this planet that unlock and activate the codes and frequencies that exist in this planet that have been laying dormant, that are helping the planet ascend, that are helping take us into this new earth, this 5D ascension, golden future, whatever your personal beliefs is or whatever you want to label it with. Basically it's the good shit and it's the good work that we need to do. Now, some of you may be presented with dragon eggs. If you're already working with dragons, you might have a dragon egg come through. One thing that you need to make sure that you do before you accept a dragon egg, unless your higher self is giving you a massive shining yes, work on clearing your womb and your incarnation tunnel. Your incarnation tunnel is where souls incarnate through you. And that is where the dragons come through as well. I had to do a lot of work with my womb, my incarnation tunnel, to be a clear channel for these eggs. You can also incubate them outside your body. So some of you will not have the ability to bring dragon eggs through your body because you weren't incarnated with the dragons, or not enough of your soul is essentially like attuned with the dragons or the dragon frequency. But what you can do is do like a shamanic journey, a soul journey into a safe astral space, and you can build an incubator for these dragon eggs. I guide people through this in my Dragon Connection and Activation course, which is called Dragon Rising, and also in the Purple Realm, which is like my monthly community group that I do. It's like $15 a month. You get access to all these sessions. One of those sessions, I guide people through creating and incubating dragon eggs. So it's something you're drawn to and you're not sure that you want to do it yourself, you want to do it in a held, grounded way, feel free to check those out. If you're doing it by yourself, just make sure that when the dragon comes in and presents you with an egg, you ask them how many days it needs to be incubated and what percentage of energy it's taking from you. And then you negotiate like a motherfucker. If they tell you it's 40 days and like 30% of your energy, that's going to be a no. You want to keep it around 10% of your energy, unless you're at a period of time where you can spend a few days in bed or whatever. But generally, I keep mine to around 10% and however many days that needs to be in. Usually, I haven't had a dragon egg for longer than 11 days, but I have had clients that have had them incubating in them for like 2 months. I think it just depends on where you're at personally in your journey, where your frequency is at, where your energy and power is at. So just trust your higher self and your dragon guides to guide you through that process. And then you can ask your dragon guides, you can ask the egg, what gifts, skills, or abilities is this bringing through? So I've had eggs before that have brought through psychic safety, they've brought through healing, they've brought through sexual healing. Some of them have brought through codes and frequencies for my books or for my clients. Some of them have activated technologies and abilities within me that don't become apparent until several weeks afterwards. So it's pretty much a trust the process kind of thing. And as long as you're stipulating that everything's in accordance with highest good, and that you are safe and asking your higher self for permission, then you should be absolutely safe to work with these energies and these eggs. Okay, so I've already smashed through the half hour, but I just want to finish up with how you guys can connect with your dragon guide safely in the first place, because it's probably the most regular thing that I get asked. So connecting with dragon guides, pretty much the same as connecting with any other spirit guides, but I'm going to run you through it as a step-by-step process. This is just a guide and an outline. It's really important that you listen to your higher self and your guides above anything else. So once you are safe and protected, if you have a new way of connecting, channel through you, please use that over anything that I tell you, because all of this work is about bringing out your own magic, not copying someone else. Okay, so while I am able to give you a template and you can use that and embellish it and evolve it, once you're protected and connected, if you get a different way of working, please trust that. Okay, so when you are connecting with your dragon guides, and pretty much with any guides, the first thing you want to do is you want to call in your protection. I call in Archangel Michael, my highest astral bodyguards and guardian dragons. That is just what I say as a standard. When I first started out, it was just Archangel Michael. If you're not sure, you can just call in your highest astral bodyguards or your spiritual bodyguards, however you want to label it, okay? You want to ask that they protect you on all levels through all space and time. So once you're feeling nice and protected, there's a lot of protection you can put on. Again, in my book, Upgrade from Within, there's a whole chapter on spiritual protection and boundaries. I highly recommend going to read that. There's also a free coaching module on my YouTube, More with Natty, that takes you through it. So put your protection on. Next, you want to ground your energy into Mother Earth. The more grounded you are, the stronger your psychic connection is. If you're trying to connect psychically without being grounded, it's not going to be as strong, and you're not going to be able to hold enough energy running through you. So you want to imagine growing roots out into the earth from either the base of your spine or like inside your belly button area. These roots are going to grow into the earth. And then you're going to start to breathe up energy through these roots. So starting to suck up energy from Mother Earth, using the breath into the heart space, breathing your love back out into Mother Earth. You don't need to be able to visualize to do any of this work. A lot of people are not seers. They're hearers, they're feelers. Things come through in a different way. Again, all that's explained in my book. But even just sending your intent that you're breathing energy in and out of the earth is going to do this process for you. So once you are grounded and protected, you now want to connect. So now you're going to connect with the divine energy. You can choose where you want to connect to. So you can call in angelic energy from the heavens through your crown chakra. You can connect to our local sun and imagine that shining through the crown chakra. You can go for Sirius up in space or call in starlight. You can go for Milky Way galaxy. So it's whatever you feel drawn to connecting with, your version of the divine, or you can just call in source energy to reign through your crown chakra. And again, you're going to breathe this in through the crown into the heart, smiling and breathing your love back up and out to the heavens. Next, you're going to breathe through simultaneously from the head and the root into the heart and expand the love out of your heart. Now, use your breath and go through this process of breathing in energy and expanding until you feel a shift in energy. So you want to feel high vibrational, you want to feel lighter, you want to feel maybe a bit buzzy, okay? Then you can call in your higher self and your spirit guides. And then you can welcome into the space any dragon spirit guides that are ready to connect with you, okay? Once you have an awareness of a dragon, now you might feel a presence, you might hear that the dragon is there, you might see the dragon. This is again going to be dependent on what your primary psychic abilities are. When you feel, see, or hear that the dragon is there, what you want to do first and foremost, the same as with connecting with any new spirit guide, is you want to imagine or intend shining a violet light on them. Shining a violet light on an entity will show you pretty quickly whether it's of the light or whether it needs to fuck off with love. So bringing a UV light down, shine it on the dragon, see if it feels or looks uncomfortable or squirms in any way. If it does, ask it to leave and then go through your protection process again and call in the dragon again. Let's just assume that the UV light is all good, all fine. You've connected with the dragon. Now this is the time for you to get to know the dragon. The first time you connect with the dragon spirit guide, it may just be that they are only coming in so that you can feel their frequency, so that they can start the process of attunement to change the frequencies in your body to match theirs. There is a lot of people that will not be able to connect with dragons yet, that have very strong connections with dragons, as in dragon soul aspects. And this is simply to do with how much density you're carrying. So you basically need to go through more psychic development, more activation, more healing, so that your body can become higher vibrational and also be attuned to dragon frequencies. The reason that they may not come through, it's not because you're not powerful, it's not because you're not worthy. So let's just fucking clear all of that bullshit out of the way to start with. It's simply a frequency thing. So not only would it harm your physical body connecting with dragon frequencies before you're ready, it also hurts them. Okay, so it's very uncomfortable for both of you. It's just not going to happen. Once you have a dragon in front of you, if they're not coming through just for frequencies, you can ask them some questions, man. Have fun with this shit. All of this spiritual stuff is supposed to be explored and enjoyed. As long as you are grounded, connected, and protected, fucking have at it. Want to go for a ride on your dragon? Ask them permission. Get them to fly you somewhere pretty. Want to know the secrets of the universe? Ask the dragon. Ask it its name, what color it is. Ask it what gift, skill, and abilities it's bringing through. Ask it how it wants to help you, why it wants to help you. All of these different things will help you increase the connection with your dragon guides, but also help you on your spiritual path. Maybe you'll find some aspects of your soul purpose, and go from there, pretty much. Yeah, so that in a nutshell is how you connect with your dragon guides. The last thing that I want to finish off with, this is going to end up to be like an hour bloody podcast. The last thing I want to finish up with, because it is really fucking important to touch on this, is again, the power of dragon frequencies. Some of you are really meant in this life to work with dragons, and for some of you, it's your path to be a channel for dragon energy. This ain't fucking pretty. For some of you, it ain't going to be pretty. When I accepted the dragons to bring the dragon tablets frequencies through me, so this is a huge, basically collection of dragons of frequencies that needs to be seeded in the earth, and I gave permission for it to come through me. They said that at the time they brought this to me in May of 2023, that I was the only channel that had the capability in that time to channel through these offerings, just because of like the physical space I was in, the psychic work that I'd done, the level of energy that I was attuned with, and they channeled through me a 40-card fucking oracle deck, 7,000 words of a book, and 2-hour-long channeled sessions of a 3-week course in 10 days. I then got hit with a massive virus and was really ill. And in the month that followed from channeling this dragon energy, I actually ended up with kidney stones. And I wasn't told this was going to happen. I do have very good boundaries with my guides, but it was literally just a result of my physical body being put through that much activations in such a short time. The dragons told me that when people channel, so all channels are transmuting energy, okay? You're transmuting and translating frequencies. Wherever you're channeling from, it's going through you and it's being translated and transmuted so that whoever you're putting them out to can receive them in an easier way. So I'm bringing through these insanely highly charged dragon frequencies that are so far away from the fucking frequency of the human body, transmuting and translating that, which all runs through your kidneys. Your kidneys transmute absolutely everything, so that then it can be palatable enough to essentially reach a much wider audience. With the book and the oracle deck that's going to be going out to hundreds of people, there was a lot of transmutation involved in that, and my dragon showed me that this is why I ended up with the kidney infections, with the kidney stones. I healed them with the dragons. I didn't need to go and get them like seen to or just like removed or whatever the fuck they do with kidney stones. I went to the hospital, I had my scans, I got shown I had a kidney stone. I asked my dragons what to do and they just said carry on healing, so I did. I didn't go and have any medical whatnot. Of course, if you have a medical worry, go to whatever medical practitioner you trust. This is just my path and my journey. I am not medically trained. Let me just put that fucking disclaimer out there right now. But yeah, so I dissolved my kidney stones. They didn't have to pass them or anything. But I just want to impress upon you, and I'm not saying this to scare anyone off dragon work. Like, dragon energy is the big fucking daddy of all energies, or the big mother, should I say. This is huge energy that's coming out of the earth, that's coming through the earth. There's lots of different types of dragons. I'll do again more dragon podcast in the future, but I just want you to understand, I guess, the spiritual gravity and the spiritual responsibility of accepting any big jobs from the dragons and giving permission for them to come through and work through you. You will experience more magic and more amazing experiences and opportunities than you've ever fucking had in your life, but you will also have to transmute more fucking darkness and be pushed to the absolute fucking edge of everything over and over again. I had a 10 month long dark night of the soul, most horrendous, most difficult shit I have ever had to work through in my physical environment, in my body, in my entire fucking life, and it was because I accepted channeling the dragon tablets frequencies. But comparatively, I've had more pockets of light and can see the future of my journey because of accepting this and because of working with the dragons. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world. Honestly, it's 100% worth it. But I just want to put the full disclaimer out there so that you guys know what you're getting yourself into. Remember that everything's up for negotiation. Just because you're being offered something in your spiritual path doesn't mean you need to take it. If something comes through in a harmful way, you can always ask your guides to take a break and for things to come through in a more palatable, easy way. Okay, that pretty much concludes our podcast today on working with dragons. I hope that you guys got a lot of value from this. Feel free to hit me up on Instagram, Natty Beats, TikTok, Natty Beats 7. Pop me a little message, let me know if you enjoyed this episode. You can also check out my website, nattybeats.com, for my courses and my book and all the things. I am sending you all a whole load of motherfucking love and light, and I will see you all in a couple of weeks. Bye!